going on, guys? It's Christian Duke from StrenghtAddicts.com, and just making this video today for all of our subscribers and visitors to our website. This is going to be a long video, so this is going to be for the hardcore. We're talking probably 15, maybe 20 minutes. Maybe it'll be shorter, I don't know. But it's going to be a long video. We're going to talk about cooking oils. We're going to talk about basic supplements. We're going to talk about a great book you should pick up. We're going to talk about, you know, the direction of Strength Addicts, what we do, what we're all about. Right now we're a bilingual site. I'm hoping to be a trilingual site eventually. I'm trying to pick up a couple other languages, tri or quadruple lingual. Right now I'm looking at Portuguese and Arabic. So we've got some people that are, you know, offering, but I need more than an offer. I need a commitment, and want to see if, you know, even if it's a monthly or bi-monthly or biannual type, you know, endeavor. I want to make sure that that we can live up to that, because if we get the readers, I don't want to just all up, dry up, and, you know, go away. Thanks to Facebook and MySpace, YouTube, Zanga, Friendster, Twitter, all these social networking sites, we're getting a lot of traffic in up until about yesterday, from ad campaigns and the like from Colombia and Argentina. And that's why if you go to our website logo on the upper left hand side of the website underneath the blogs, you can click on that and see where the hits are coming from around the world. And right now Colombia and Argentina, well, not right now, they have been for about 2 months now, they've been getting a lot of hits. And that's why we have a Spanish section, which is pretty much half of the site. Today, starting yesterday, today, probably for the next few months, we're going to be getting a lot of hits from a couple of countries which are nowhere near each other, and culturally completely different, but equally valuable and worthy. Everyone's worthy to be here. And we're talking about Bulgaria, which is in Eastern Europe, and India, which is in Asia. And a lot of people don't know, or may not be aware, that India is the second most populated country in the world. It has over 1 billion people, and we share a common language, which is English. So that's certainly something that's very, very cool. And you know, we hope that you'll send in your photos and your videos. And a lot of people, I guess, just kind of segue into what Strength Addicts is all about. We started 3 years ago. You know, we've got people in Florida and obviously Michigan, where I live, and Latin America, and these are real people. These aren't like, you know, members in a group that, you know, is not active, doesn't do anything, just a bunch of numbers there. This is an active group. People are sending pictures. We chat on a daily basis. There's videos. People do bodybuilding shows, powerlifting, figure competitions, bikini competitions, and they, you know, stay up to date with me. And we have supplement companies that send us a lot of samples. Some more generous than others. They send us t-shirts and all sorts of stuff. And you know, a couple of the companies, primarily BPI Sports, you know, the people sending us the stuff are actually competitors themselves, you know. And other companies, you know, so far we've gotten a great response from USP Labs. I want to thank Casey Bard. Also want to thank Ultimate Nutrition, Julia Brown. Great 2 boxes full of stuff. Again, BPI Sports, great company. Abbott Nutrition, makers of EAS, they sent us like 7 pallets worth, not pallets, 7 boxes worth of the EAS Myoplex shake. I think we had something like, I don't know, something like 150 Myoplex shakes. Each one's like $3.50, and we got that for an event that we did. We weren't able to hold the event, so we've been, you know, giving them out periodically, and people love the shakes, and we tried to set something up with the gym, and that didn't work out, unfortunately. But EAS is an awesome product, and I think it's far superior to a lot of the stuff you see in the magazines. I mean, you have to ask yourself, if a company is advertising like crazy, they're either really passionate about their product, you know, or it's new, or it's crap. In the case of BPI's advertising up the yin-yang, but they're a new company, they want to get the word out, and their products are really good, especially the 1MR. I mean, the 1MR, you feel like, I almost feel like it's too overpowering, you know. And I'm a pretty big guy, I'm 6'5", 280. I like jacked. Jacked, to me, for me, ideally, is a better tailored energy drink for myself. But in general, if you were to stack it next to the 1MR, it would be really, really up to the individual, because the 1MR is just so powerful, and it's almost like you're it's almost like you're on an ECA stack times 2. It's a pretty powerful supplement. So, I want to thank those companies, other companies, ALRI Industries, kind of had us hanging there for a while. Oh, we know who you are, and blah blah blah, and tell us more about you, and we did, and of course they never sent anything. Same thing goes with the makers of Extend, Cybation, I believe it is. We're talking there, one of the vice presidents, and they were like, oh, well, we can send you an online newsletter and a 10% discount. And I'm like, I got 70 guys in Lansing alone. I got, a couple hundred around the world. They want to try your product. I mean, some of these people don't want to just drop $50 on, how much crap there is out there that's just mass marketed. And not only that, there's 70 guys. They got 160,000 views on YouTube, a website that just, gets hits from all around the world. We don't sell anything, and we don't give anything away. We just, wanted to give out a couple supplements or whatever, a couple samples, not even the actual tubs. USP Labs sent us a tub of Jack. It's like $40 that we're gonna give away at a contest. But it's really ridiculous, especially when like as a former bodybuilding.com customer, that these companies do have sample packages. They have them. I mean, for instance, one supplement a lot of guys really want now is a D4 by Cellucor. Now I know Cellucor has these samples because at the GNC they gave me like 2 handfuls of them, because I love GNC, Lansing Mall, and they're very supportive of the site. In fact, they're the ones that hooked us up with USP Labs initially. So I know Cellucor makes these samples. There's only one pill in here, and they're all the rage at gym bums and gyms around Lansing. So I'm hoping Cellucor will see this and send us a few samples. I'll show you later what the other companies have sent us. And of course, there's also Universal Intra Aid, which is, I'm not sure if this sample's currently out yet. I mean, it might be gone. It might be an older sample. But this is a really, really good product, amino acid product. It's a little high on the calories. It's got 72 calories, but it tastes really good. It's virtually carb-free. And, who doesn't want aminos while they're working out? And also, what I'm trying to do with some of the companies, especially USP Labs, I really like their products, and 1MR BPI, is I'm trying to see if I can't buy some of these samples, like literally like just buy buy them in bulk, or pay the shipping, or do something to get more, so that you guys can send me shipping and handling or whatever. Because I mean to send it to India or Bulgaria or even New York, it's gonna run me some money, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not selling anything, but have you guys get samples all around the world, on the condition, or at least on the hope that you'll make a video or write a review, and an honest review. Like this is not a kangaroo court. I want you guys to give an honest review, and then you would get, like, if we sent you the Oxy Elite, you would get the Oxy Elite form, and you would see what it's all about, and if you got the Jacked, you would get the Jacked page, and you would see what Jacked is all about, and it would be all pretty professional in the sense that you'd be getting the product, and you get all the information about the product, and it would give you, like, for instance, a lot of these pages, they have citations that you could actually go off and check out, and they give you a pretty good breakdown of what's in the product. So I mean, if you're inquiring minds must know, you can always inspect it further on the internet, but at least they give you a good roadmap. So and I think that would be like, I mean, I don't know what USP Labs or BPI Sports pays to have an insert in a Muscle Mag or a Muscular Development or a Flex magazine, but I'm thinking it's got to be like $10,000-$15,000. Whereas here, I'm offering to pay for the shipping, and then have you all pay me the shipping, and it's virtually having like hundreds of reviews from real everyday people. Nothing against Jay Cutler, but real everyday people on the stuff and getting results. And what are they out? I mean, like a few of these, like 10-pack samples. I mean, it's really to their benefit, and of course it would really help StrengthAddicts.com out as well, because we are basically about everyday lifters. So that's enough about that. Hopefully the companies will respond, Cellucor and Universal, and hopefully USP Labs will entertain our theory, as well as BPI Sports and Ultimate Nutrition. Ultimate Nutrition, I really don't want to include in that equation, because Ultimate Nutrition has sent like stuff out of their ears. I mean, they have really come through, so I really appreciate that. Okay, next thing everybody's going to ask me about is dieting. Everybody wants to know what's like the great supplement to take to lose weight. And there really isn't a great supplement. There's going to be you're gonna have to stack things. Just like people on steroids, you know, they stack different anabolics or whatever. Well, you're gonna have to stack herbals or multis or minerals or whatever. My basic recommendation for anybody that wants to lose weight, and I'm vegetarian, I've been vegetarian for almost 17 years, lacto-ovo, so I'm hoping I'll meet some cool Indian vegetarians as well, is that there's 3 basic elements that you need to lose weight. I mean, and you really don't need to go the caffeine route unless you want to. If you want to go the caffeine route, you can take the ECA stack. If you live in the United States, you have to show your driver's license, and you can only buy, I believe it's 76 units per month, and that's ephedrine 25 mil, caffeine 200 mil, and aspirin 81 mil 2 to 3 times a day, coupled with at least a gallon of water a day and at least an hour to 2 hours of cardio, high intensity cardiovascular exercise. You'll lose about 10 pounds a month. You can keep doing it for about 7 or 8 months. It basically mimics the effects of methamphetamine, and it's nothing to be played around with. But it was legal up until 2004, and like I said, if you have a valid driver's license and you buy what the government allows you to buy, then it's your own business what you use it for. That's what they should do with anabolic steroids. That's what they should do with that's what they're doing with pot. Yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to go out and feign some kind of weird illness that everybody knows is bullshit and get a card and grow pot and eventually develop breasts, I mean, guys here, I mean, that's their business, you know, but it's you know, women can get estrogen all they want, guys can't get testosterone. It's just the irony of living in the United States. But anyways, if you want to go about weight loss in a natural way, I recommend that you take at least 2,000 milligrams of CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, which just will help you with fat breakdown, especially coupled with cardiovascular. I would also take at least 2 servings of kelp a day. This kelp here is $7.99 at Meijer. You can probably get it cheaper somewhere else, but kelp is very good for the thyroid. And I would also make sure to have an essential fatty acid to get your omega-3s and 6s. This will help you more with your 3s, and that would be flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil is great if you're vegetarian and you don't want to take fish oil. This is very important. So as long as you have an essential fatty acid, kelp, and conjugated linoleic acid coupled with a moderate to low carbohydrate diet, high protein, and moderate to high fat diet, coupled with cardiovascular and sufficient water intake, you should lose at the very least 5 pounds your first month and continue on that path for as long as you want to. You can literally get down to like 7 or 8% body fat, and you don't have to take a steroid or anything. You don't have to take ephedrine, you don't have to take caffeine, you don't have to take anything like that. So that's just food for thought. If you are interested in getting ripped, as in like nasty ripped, you are going to want to go low carb, and I really recommend it. I think it's $8 is what it costs. It's a great book by Dr. Richard Johnson. It's called The Sugar Fix. You could pick it up at Barnes & Noble, or maybe even for like a couple dollars on Amazon. It's kind of like Atkins, it's kind of like South Beach, but it's a lot more in depth, and it's a lot more catered to like the bodybuilder, physique, sport-oriented kind of athlete. So if you want to check out The Sugar Fix, and it's the high fructose fallout that is making you fat and sick. It's a really, really, really powerful book. I think I said really like 5 times. So I would check that out. And also, speaking about oils, since we talked about oils a little earlier with the flaxseed oil and the essential fatty acids, again, a lot of people out there are cooking with, like olive oil, which is this here, extra virgin or regular olive oil. That's horrible for you. Olive oil has got one of the lowest smoke points out there. It will turn very quickly toxic, and I think it's something like 2 or 250 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the absolute worst oil to cook with. However, once you're done cooking, if you want to take a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, that's great, or you can put it over the food after it's cooked, because olive oil is good, however, because it has an awesome ratio of poly to monounsaturated fats. It's also a great anti-inflammatory agent. So olive oil is great, it's just not great to cook with. So you can take it solo. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't drink olive oil. This is olive oil. You open the cap and you drink it, just like you drink raw eggs and everything else that we drink. I mean, if you don't like the taste, you probably shouldn't be bodybuilding, because you're probably like a punk. But otherwise, olive oil is great. Try to get like 1 or 2 tablespoons of this a day. It's a great anti-inflammatory. And if you lift hard, you know what I mean. And if you want to cook, you want to cook with an oil that has a high smoke point. I cook with peanut oil. Some of the best oils are peanut oil, safflower oil, walnut oil, and macadamia nut oil. They all have a smoke point of around 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So not only can you cook with these oils, but once you've cooked, the food still retains the essential fatty acid content. So the profile is not as vulnerable to being toxic as would be with olive oil. So again, I don't know what you've heard about peanut oil or safflower oil. They have higher fat content, but once you read the Sugar Fix or educate yourself a little bit more about anabolic dieting, you will find out that actually fat is not your enemy. And I really don't want to be anti-carb, because there are good carbs. I don't want people to go carb-free. But as far as refined sugars go, corn fructose, these things, even milk, even regular milk, the lactose in milk makes milk so unworth drinking. I mean, my issue is with simple sugars, not complex carbohydrates. But in general, people that are trying to lose weight try to lower their fat, and that's actually what's, I think, sabotaging them from right from the get-go. So that is something to look at. And then also, if you are doing a low carbohydrate or moderate carbohydrate, whether it's salty food, sweet food, whatever it is, put cinnamon on it. Cinnamon is like a miracle agent. Cinnamon will completely level out your insulin, and you don't want to have insulin spikes when you're on a moderate to low carbohydrate diet, because what will happen is if you're lucky enough to be able to get to ketosis, which is generally going to take you below 20 grams of carbohydrate a day, if you have so much as a Skittle or an M&M, that insulin spike will put on more weight than you would have put on normally eating like a dozen donuts, because insulin is extremely chaotic in the body. So once you've achieved ketosis, you want to be really careful how you spike it. Now, a lot of people, like for instance, if you do Dave Palumbo's ketogenic diet, you're basically ketogenic for 6.5 days a week, and you get one cheat meal. And the theory behind that is that by having one cheat meal, you restore your glycogen levels for the week. And I think that's good, but the thing is, discipline there becomes the key, because if you're having one cheat meal a week, basically if you're living on 20 grams of carbs a day, and suddenly you have a cheat meal that's got in excess of 150 to 200 carbs a day, you're going to feel completely euphoric, and your inhibitions are going to be low, and you're just going to want to gorge yourself with food. And the problem with that is that it's going to throw off your training and your recovery and your growth for the next 3 to 4 days. So again, if you have the willpower to be able to go on 20 grams of carbs a day, and then on the 7th day or whatever day is your cheat meal, have a 50 to 100 gram carb meal, and then simply go back to the ketogenic diet immediately after that, then do it. Otherwise, I would stay ketogenic the whole time. I really don't think that there's a problem with that, and that's assuming that you go carb free. If you want to go moderate carb, I would say the the RDA, they say that you need to have between 100 to 115 to 120 grams of carbohydrate a day for proper brain function. That's what they say. I believe that, my personal belief, what's worked for me, and I've lost 60 pounds and I've been able to keep it off for like 6 months, and I've done this for 7 years. I'll go up to 350 and come down to 260, and I do it every year for the last 7 years. If you want to keep the weight off, I would stay between probably 50 and 80 grams of carbs a day, and just work it accordingly to that. You really don't need carbs. They're really rather useless. They give you false spurts of energy. You never feel full, and when you take a lot of carbs, you hold a lot of water, and when you hold a lot of water, you're more prone to having higher estrogen levels and lower testosterone levels. So really, I just think carbohydrates are a waste of time. If you do want to have them, and you should to some extent, I would have them in the morning. Maybe have some steel cut oatmeal, or even that crap they sell, that instant oatmeal. You can have some of that. You can have some fruit. Again, try to have it before 6 p.m. You don't want to have any kind of, even though it's fructose, even though it's natural sugar, you don't want to have any kind of sugar after 6 p.m., at least not in mass quantities, because it will turn into fat unless you work out at night. So that's pretty much it for now. I was going to do more, but I think I've covered enough for this first episode. Check us out at StrengthAddicts.com. Peace.